Fantasy season is here. The NFL has begun, and it is time, everybody. The Fantasy Couriers are proud to be partnered with Underdog Fantasy, the most amazing, greatest daily fantasy sports site. You might have done all their best ball games during the offseason. I have friends that did dozens and dozens and dozens and are still talking about them. Now we're in season, and it is time for Pick'em. You can pick player stats. You can pick highs or lows of various stats within a game. It is an exciting time. You can stack them. There are specials throughout the season that will make the game even more exciting. And to make things better, Underdog Fantasy has an exclusive offer for new customers. Claim your mystery pickup and get a 100% deposit match up to $100 now by signing up on Underdog using the code COURIERS. Once you make that first deposit, head to the Pick'em lobby and find out which player special you get. If you're already a customer, share the code Couriers to support our amazing podcast so that we can continue to grow with Underdog and have a blast in season with you. Now, on to the show.
What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
JJ Wang, it is week 3 of the NFL. That is probably, I was talking with somebody today about the time that players are getting their legs under them. They can't hit during the offseason. They can't hit really during preseason. They don't play. The stars don't play because they're not stupid. They don't want them to get hurt. So they've got 2 games under their belts of just like terrible, terrible football. I seem to see less penalties today was the key to the day. But I think going forward, we might start to see what we think we maybe ought to see.
I mean, I have to take your word for it because I have yet to watch a Sunday of football yet. So I've just been keeping up on my phone. Like today, I'm going in kind of blind at this one, but I'll have to take your word that today was better than the previous 2 weeks.
It was interesting. There was some good, some bad. It was an interesting different kind of week. But hey, good news. If you have not joined through us on Underdog, they just sent me an email prior to the show. If you join as a new user from now until October 4th, they'll 100% deposit match you up to $500. So up in the ante if you want to jump in. Most of our listeners are in, but if you get a chance, jump in, use the code Couriers. They'll match you up to $500. So if you want to jump in there, do some higher or lower in there. I did a draft prior to doing this for a 3-person draft for the nightcap. We record these on Sundays, and I ended up with both quarterbacks. How gross is that? But I was like, it's a quarterback. You start 4 players. I got 2 quarterbacks, Jacoby Myers, and a kicker. So by the time most people listen to this, they'll know that either that was a great decision or that was an absolute terrible decision. But, it is the way things go. So one of our favorite players of all time, who we thought might have a resurgent in a career, is making sort of a comeback, but through nothing that he has done. Today for the New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr went down with a shoulder. He's going to be out. They haven't said too long. It's not season ending, but he's going to be out for a smidge, which means, dun, 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 Jameis Winston came in. Stat line for him, both of their stat lines were pretty similar, so this could be they could be products of this team. Carr was 13 of 18, 103 and a touch. Winston was 10 of 16, 101, but more importantly, no interceptions. What do you think about that? What does that give you a little bit of hope? And how much fab would you spend on him this week?
A little bit of hope for Jameis?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I don't want to say I've given up hope on Jameis, but I've put a lot of hope in Jameis over the years. It's been pretty much a letdown since the very beginning. I know he's, 8 years, almost 7 years, 8 years. And I know Geno Smith had a late resurgence in his career, but I mean, if I got money, I'll drop some fab on him because he's a starting quarterback. But I mean, I'm not too overly excited. He hasn't done nothing in his career yet.
If you had Derek Carr in a super flex, you better be dropping some cash. So, I mean, you're going to get a couple weeks out of him in the starting court. If you're a super flex, I think I'll be curious how high he goes in a bunch of these because nobody has him. So it'll be an intriguing way it goes.
Yeah, like it just all it's going to take is that one person that needs a quarterback to spend $100 or $75 to get him. There's always that one guy.
Yeah, so it is true. It's Sunday. Sunday's all about two things.
Pleasure.
And pain. That's all it's about. And it was interesting. Usually JJ Wang takes this segment and I just play along, but JJ Wang's been traveling with his daughter, as you heard him say, because as we always will tell you guys, our kids are number one. We love you all. We'll keep up with the football. We'll read about the football. If we can't watch it, we'll go back and look at stuff, but we are not going to tell our kids they're not important. That's what makes us goof up sometimes. So if you read my article this week, oops, sorry. But JJ Wang, I got some pleasure for you.
I'm in need of some pleasure. It's been a long day.
It's a long day. Well, let's start with somebody I know you like. Justin Herbert, in the game that should have been the game of the day, finally won a game. 40 of 47, 405 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's what we expect, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, just coming into the season, finally Justin Herbert finally has a good game, and it only takes the Minnesota Vikings defense to allow it to happen. Now, if only he could play the Minnesota Vikings defense every week. But again, that's what every team is kind of hoping for. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Justin Herbert to finally have a good game. I'm pretty sure all of his receivers went along with him, probably had one as well. But it's hard for me to trust Justin Herbert 100%. I mean, one good game. I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes me a little bit more positive, but I'm still kind of iffy right now. He's kind of bringing me down a little bit.
I think we will see what happens when Eckler comes back. That'll be where I think he dips a bit as we go forward. Another star quarterback, and then I'm gonna get some guys below there. Lamar had a Lamar type day, 22 of 31 for 202, and then 14 rushes for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's what rainy Baltimore does, but that's what we expect out of Lamar. We expect that out of Fields. We expect that out of all the running, quote unquote running. Danny Jones, even that's their kind of lines, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't draft Justin Fields. I don't draft Lamar. I was about to say Lamar Odom, but I don't draft. I don't draft Lamar Jackson to throw for 400 yards like Justin Herbert. I mean, you throw for 200 yards and you give me 75 yards rushing and a touchdown. I mean, that's just as good or not better than the 400 yards passing. So if Lamar can put these kind of numbers forward, this is the kind of numbers that we thought Lamar was going to have going into the season. But who knows? It's going to be ups and downs with him, I feel like.
I got 3 guys that are quarterback 2, borderline quarterback 3 that I'd say they were pretty pleasurable, and I don't know who started them though. You probably did in Superflex, but Brock Purdy, 25 of 37, 310 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a good Thursday night for him.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think Purdy's solidified itself as a week QB2 going forward for the rest of the season. I mean, he's solid. I mean, I'm not saying he's top 15, but I mean 18 to 24. Yeah, maybe, but 18 to 24, I'm very satisfied with Brock Purdy every week as a QB2.
Yeah, I like the 310. Jordan Love, he's a 50% passer, though. 22 of 44 for 259 and a touch, but he had an interception, too. That wasn't nothing incredible. But this week he ran 9 for 39 and a touch. So we're not talking Herbert or Lamar numbers, but out of a quarterback, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know how I feel about Jordan Love coming in. I felt like he was going to have a better season than most expected. But I will say the 50% completion is really, really scary because that's you're not going to be able to go through a whole NFL season performing well, passing for 50% of your passes. It's just not going to happen. You're going to come down to earth, and it's going to crash hard with 50% passing.
I don't have him on but Romeo Dobbs, man.
It's fun while it's lasting.
Yeah, Romeo Dobbs and the rookies are looking pretty good. So, and the third guy I got in this bunch that I'll ask you the question is my favorite rookie quarterback this year that I managed to get by okie dokie in the league. CJ Stroud continuing to look hot. 20 of 30, 280 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Looks way better than I anticipated. He's obviously the best quarterback so far in this draft, and it's not even really close. Of course, with Bryce Young going down hurt. Anthony Richardson also hurt. Anthony Richardson was looking good, but I feel like with CJ Stroud, his passing is way better than I thought, and he's doing this with Houston, which is way more impressive. So yeah, big shout out to CJ Stroud performing way better than I anticipated.
Yeah, I liked him better. I liked him of the three as far as guys I wanted, but I did not see this. Wow. If going forward, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, or CJ Stroud, who would you feel most comfortable with as your QB2 in a super flex? It's still Purdy, right?
I feel like the floor is a little safer with Purdy because I feel like you know what you're getting. But if CJ Stroud keeps performing like this, another week or two, and he's having like top 15 numbers, I'm going to feel pretty safe. And, I might jump CJ Stroud over Brock Purdy on a given day.
Tell you what, I wish I'd have played him over Trevor Lawrence today, man. He wasn't they
Another
had
another stinker from T Law.
not a total stinker, but the Jaguars just they don't look good. I mean, he had one less yard than Stroud, one less touchdown, and one more interception. So still, taking the rookie like in Dynasty, it's looking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not impressed. I mean, I was so high on Trevor Lawrence. I thought he was the next coming, and it just is not. I thought this was not even a chance that he would not be. Well, he's a good quarterback,
Yeah.
but I didn't think there was not even a chance where he wasn't going to be a top 5 quarterback. And right now, I don't even think he's anywhere close to being a top 5 quarterback.
Dynasty rankings. And last one, this would be a surefire waste of a amazing week. 34 of 58, so not great efficiency, but 334 yards and 2 touchdowns out of the Carolina Panthers starting quarterback, Mr. Andy Dalton.
That's surprising, but I mean, we feel like Andy Dalton does this his whole career, right? I mean,
In Seattle, too.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's defense isn't all that great these
But you're
days.
still in Seattle. That's the catch.
But yeah, and Andy Dalton just jumping right on a bad Carolina team and putting up numbers. Now, unfortunately, Bryce Young comes back. He'll jump right back in there, and then he'll go back to throwing his 125 passing yards. But I mean, Andy Dalton's been in the league 15 years. Bryce Young's only been in the league for 2 games. But yeah, congratulations to Andy Dalton. You don't know how many more of these he's going to get.
Yeah, I remember watching. Remember how good he was at TCU? Holy moly! So on to the running backs. There weren't too many like stellar running back performances. There were good running backs, but I got 2 that really stuck out to me. One is a guy who probably, if you didn't, the rest of the weeks you're going to be kind of sad because soon he's going to be relegated. Zach Moss. 30 rushes for 122 yards. He's getting the ball, 2 receptions for 23 and a touch. So
yeah, I didn't know Zach Moss was this good. I mean,
is he?
I mean, evidently, I mean, he's been pretty decent with the Colts so far. Well, I'm not gonna say pretty decent with the Colts, but I mean,
pretty good
he's
this year.
flashed with the Colts so far. I mean, we all left him out for dead in Buffalo, and we was all like he's the worst running back in the league. But I mean, if he can get another starter too, I mean, you got to throw him out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens because I'm a believer that Taylor's coming back in 2 weeks. But will they ease Taylor back in without playing, or will they just go boom? And if Taylor's behind this line, dude, imagine if Zach Moss is doing these stats, Taylor's going to run for 300 yards a week. But anyway, and now in the late game today, I was excited for this because he was in some of my DFS. Ken Walker Jr., the third, right? He's a third. 19 for 97, 2 touchdowns, and 3 receptions for 59 yards. That's what we're talking about. Zach Charbonnet had go watch the play right at the 3-yard line. He had this guy try to, he just boom, pushed him, just knocked him like 3 yards out in the end zone. It was awesome. Anyway, that had nothing to do. But Walker, what do you think?
I mean, it's okay. Like I said, this is like probably his best game of the season. Like you're happy that you started him, but I don't know what the confidence level for Walker going forward as being like a top 12 running back. I feel like he's pretty comfortable as your RB2. I mean, if Kenny Walker's your RB2, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with that with this kind of upside. I mean, if Seattle's offense is rolling, when they roll, they run the ball a lot, and Kenny Walker's proven that he could be a solid running back.
So let's go with some wide receiver pleasure. If Justin Herbert throws for a bunch, somebody has to benefit. So let's look at 2 guys. Keenan Allen, 18 receptions for 215 yards. Mike Williams, 7 for 121 and a touch. Enjoy that because he got hurt. But shocker, dun 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 dun. I saw some points for Keenan Allen. You're talking, if it's a PPR, right there, you're looking at 42 points or something ungodly like that without a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a crazy game. And Keenan Allen just does what Keenan Allen does. I mean, him and Justin Herbert love each other. So, I mean, so without a doubt, whenever Keenan Allen's on the field, he is arguably a top 12 wide receiver every time he steps out there with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, those two guys look. I mean, they're playing the Vikings. What can you do? The
That is
surprise,
true. That is true as well. That is true as well.
the surprise one of the day. It's a guy I love. Is 72-year-old Adam Thielen. 11 reception, 141 yards, and a touchdown on 14 targets. If as long as Andy Dalton is the quarterback, you got to roll out Thielen, right?
I'm not rolling out. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of got to, but it'd be hard for me to start. It'd be hard to start Thielen, but yeah, I mean, probably looking at this game next week, you're going to be like, I probably should start Thielen. But if Bryce Young is playing, I mean, you're probably not starting Thielen, right?
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. He was getting some looks, but nothing extraordinary. Stephon Diggs helped the Bills annihilate the Commanders with 8 for 111. We thought there might be some slowing down, but maybe we got to wait a little longer for that.
Yeah,
And
this might mean Stephon Diggs is going to stay in Buffalo. I mean, hopefully this just puts off the hatred that Buffalo. I don't want to say Buffalo has for Stephon Diggs, but the way it's kind of been going lately. But yeah, I mean, great game for Stephon Diggs. If him and Josh Allen are on the same page, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as Keenan Allen. I mean, he's going to get the ball, and he's the true number one receiver there.
yeah, and the last one I have, I love this guy, is CJ Stroud's number 1, I don't know. Tank Dell, 5 receptions, a $145 and a tutty. This guy I loved watching. He's on this team because CJ Stroud looked at D'Amico and the general manager and said, "I want this guy. I met him at the combine. Get him on our team," and that's why they overpaid for him, and he's starting to pay off.
I mean, it's working out. I mean, an overpay then is definitely not an overpay now. I mean, you're glad you kind of overpaid for it. But yeah, I mean, CJ Stroud really likes this guy, and if your quarterback really likes you, I mean, that really helps out a lot. I probably need a little bit more work from Tank Dell to be safe to start him. I'll be correct, right?
I don't know. I saw him playing a lot this week. So I don't know. It depends. As with everything, it's really scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some people out there be like, "Hey, I'm definitely going to ride just Tank Dell hot streak while it lasts." CJ Stroud's rolling. Houston offense, I don't want to say is rolling, but the Houston offense is kind of rolling right now.
Unless
So,
you're a running back, they're rolling.
yeah, unless you're running back. So
You got a
who would have thought? Who would have thought you'd want a piece of the Houston Texans pass offense?
Yeah, that was totally. Yeah, I mean, Pierce is getting touches, but yuck. I mean, yuck. Anyway, we're still on the positive. The pleasure. This was my favorite guy. I've been trying to get him everywhere. I can't get him. Matt Laporta out of Detroit, 8 for 84 and a touchdown. This dude, this dude could be good.
Yeah, I mean, he's unquestionably a top 5 tight end, right? I think top 5 tight end right now. I mean, if you're ranking, you're going Kelsey, you're going Sam Laporta, right? I mean, I feel like
Kelsey, Andrews, Laporta, Hawkinson, right in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you probably put Hawkinson in there too, but right now with Laporta being like that fresh new face in the league, I mean, he's going to jump up there quick. And like I said, he's already a top 5 tight end. I mean, maybe top 3 by the end of the week.
But yeah, I was excited about that, and it just made my day. I was very excited. Now we really can't talk about a great week without
Miami has Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen.
the Miami Dolphins dismantling the Broncos. It looked like watching Madden when you play on rookie. Tua, 309 yards for 4 touchdowns. Mostert, 83 rushing yards for 3 touchdowns. 7 receptions, 60 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek, 9 for a buck 57 and 1. And most impressive of all, my favorite rookie that if you started him, you're either you have a terrible team or you are a genius. Devon Achane, 18 rushes for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions for 30 yards and 2 touchdowns. There hasn't been an output like this since I think it was the former Washington Redskins back with Sonny Jurgensen. 70 points.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how this happens to an NFL defense these days, but I mean, whatever. I mean, you're obviously going to start everything on the Miami Dolphins offense at this time. You're probably even going to throw out A-Chain next week. I mean, how are you not going to start him? Maybe he might only get like 7 or 8 carries, but in that offense, I mean, Mostert, yeah, he's going to get the ball, but it's more of a committee backfield, and them two are it. So I mean, a flex play, and you need a long shot. I mean, why would you not start them?
It's Buffalo. That's gonna be the challenge. I mean, there's not really much to say that. Yeah, and that was without Waddle. If Waddle, and they could have had the record, but McDaniels kneeled the ball on 4th down with like 30 seconds left versus kicking the field goal to set the NFL record. I was like, okay.
I feel like at that point you're only going to get that opportunity once. You might as well just set the record.
Yeah, that was my thought. Like they were talking about that being a camaraderie. Anyway, let's go quick through the pain. There's just some terrible. I'm gonna give you 3 quarterbacks. Tell me which one hurts. Oh, I know which one hurts the most. Well, no, it's pretty. One of them you don't care about. The first terrible quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, 13 to 25, 104. By what week? They look terrible. By what week do you think they're going to try one of the first-year rookie quarterback?
I would have already have done it. I mean, it's
so bad. So bad.
I feel like the season's already spiraling out of control. You might as well get as much work as you possibly can in. I mean, why not trade Tannehill to the Jets and just let one of these young quarterbacks just take over?
Because the Jets say they're going with Wilson, but it was almost Deshaun Watson. If you want to go back and watch that lateral backwards pass for 30 yards backwards at some point, but then he turned it around and statistically made up. But here's 2 guys. Which one hurts you the most? Sam Howell, 19 of 29, a buck 74 interceptions. Justin Fields, 50%, 11 of 22 for 99 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, rushing 11 times for 49 yards. Both were pretty stinking terrible and got obliterated.
Well, I mean, definitely Justin Fields hurts me more because I've got a lot more invested in Justin Fields. I'm not expecting Sam Howell to be, a top 5 quarterback. I was expecting Howell to be solid. He's been solid, so bad game here, obviously, but yeah, definitely more disappointed with. He did get hurt. Is he? Did he come back out?
I don't have anything on that. I don't know is the answer to that question.
But yeah, highly disappointed. Not happy at all.
So Sam Howell played the whole game, and Justin Fields saw playing the whole game too. It was both 2 teams that just got embarrassed. The Chiefs were like, we can't let the Dolphins show up the game, and the Bills said the same thing. They both played the whole game. So yeah, he said that. I was like, wait. Let's go to running backs. Got 5. I got 3 studs with terrible performances. Derrick Henry, I almost called him Travis Henry. Derrick Henry, 11 for 22. Breece Hall, 12 for 18. And Bijan, who cost me a high-low for underdog, $200. I had a $5 for 200. 10 for 33.
That's not good numbers from any of those guys. I wouldn't say I expected more out of Breece Hall, even though Breece Hall seemed to think he was going to get more. Like 12 carries was nice, but that offense just isn't good right now. Really, really disappointed out of Bijan. Rookie, 2 good games, has a bad game, but it's rough, man. You're gonna have these kind of games. You gotta get used to it.
So we gotta figure out what good team Derrick Henry will be playing for in October. That's coming next. 2 backups that pooped to the bed. AJ Dillon, 11 for 33, and Joshua Kelly. What happened to this dude? 11 for 12, 11 rush. Like he looked so good that first week in the shootout with Miami, and then he's been poop.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting that many more carries now than he got in that first game. It was just Austin Eckler played, so it's maybe like a different kind of. You're running different plays when Austin Eckler's in there. So yeah, I thought he would have been better. I mean, I I had a little bit more hope for Josh Kelly. I thought it was gonna be something a little more, but highly disappointed. Then you go back to sitting on your bench.
Yep. Receivers, I just looked at a couple of the studs that just were meh today. CD, 4 for 53. You have Calvin Ridley, 3 for 40. Your Redskin, sorry, I did it. Usually you do it. Your Commander receivers, Dotson had 21 yards, McLaurin had 41, and Garrett Wilson, 5 for 48. That's a pile of poop right there.
That's a big pile of poop. The biggest, super disappointing is CD Lamb. He's already, I don't want to say he started off slow, but I mean he's kind of started off kind of slow. He had a big game last week. Other than that, but the other two games, not anything to write home about. Needs something more out of him because that, like I said, everybody's assuming he's a top 5 wide receiver, and then we got Garrett Wilson, another supposed to be a top 5 wide receiver. But when you go from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson, it's not, I don't want to say it's his fault, but it's not really his fault.
Yeah, and a dud for a tight end, a lot of duds. Hunter Henry was the biggest dud. He's been looking solid, 2 for 17, and we'll talk about the reason that happened. But I got a team dud as well. We had a team stud, a team pleasure. Here's a team pain. Dallas Cowboys. What happened? They let the fledgling Arizona Cardinals win. They scored 16 points. Dak, mediocre flexed quarterback 2-day, 249, a touch and interception. The defense gave up 28 points. That's 1 touchdown from Dobbs to Brown. Rondell Moore, a 45-yard sprint down the field. James Conner, a touchdown and 3 field goals from Prater. This is inexcusable. I thought the Cardinals were trying to trade away Murray and then draft one of these young quarterbacks and then get what's his name's kid and have a receiver quarterback tandem coming out all together. Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, what?
I guess Trayvon Diggs makes up more of that defense than everybody anticipated. I mean, evidently he's the centerpiece because the defense goes from playing great to allowing Arizona to score 28 points, or I guess that's what you said. But yeah I didn't even see that. That was the first I've heard. So yeah, it's kind of disappointed. But look, that's the Cowboys. This is what the Cowboys do. This is what the Cowboys have been doing for 25 years, and this is the reason why I'm no longer a fan anymore. I'm just tired of
8. What are you thinking?
I'm tired of games like this, and it would have been games like this that just ruined my whole week, and I wouldn't be good for nobody. But this is what the Cowboys do. Nothing changes.
Well, hey, brother, there's space on the wagon if you want to jump on. I got extra jerseys. I got some stuff for you. So
okay.
Surefire waste of a touchdown.
Here we go. We got to do these quick because it's almost JJ Wang's bedtime. We're recording a little late.
I was about to pass that a long time ago.
2 hours ago. We're in San Francisco. 9-yard touchdown pass. That might have been Debo's. I should have put Debo in there. I did. Did I mention Debo? 6 for 129 on a touch. Sorry, Debo. Debo should have been Debo, but no. Ronnie Bell, rookie Ronnie Bell, preseason kind of hopeful, and then around, but nobody started him, which makes that a
surefire waste of a touchdown, and that should have been Ayuk's touchdown, but of course he was injured, so we need to get him back out on the field.
That'll be a discussion for Thursday, the Debo effect, the Ayuk to Debo, all those effects. I'll talk about that today. 58-yard pass from Mac Jones to his star tight end, Hunter. What? Pharaoh Brown? Dude, he was just sprinted past the DBs. I was like, wow, that's the wrong number, dude. But yeah, if you started him, you know nothing about football because that's definitely a
surefire waste of touchdown. I mean, I just love how these random guys just come out of nowhere for a day and just be like, hey, I still play in the NFL. I mean, like, kudos to you, buddy.
Here's one of his old teammates. C.J. Stroud has a 4-yard pass to Nico. No, Nico had a meh day the week I started him. To my favorite player from a year or two ago, Brevin Jordan. 4-yard touchdown pass. Too little too late, but yeah, it's a
surefire waste of a touchdown. I did see where he scored like 7 points. So I was like, all right, that's the most points he scored in like 10, 12 weeks.
RIP Dalton Schultz. We have a 3-yard. We're going to the shootout. Minnesota versus the Chargers. 3-yard pass in the end zone to a big-bodied. Wait, no, that's a tight end. Oh no, Donald Parham Jr. 3-yard pass from Justin Herbert. That's a
surefire waste of a touchdown. Even though I did like me some Donald Parham Jr. about 2 years ago.
Oh, and not to be outdone, Kirk Cousins decided to throw a 4-yard pass. By the way, Jefferson had a good day as usual. That's just standard. I skipped him earlier. To Josh Oliver? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really, Josh Oliver from the Ravens. You know that guy. Not Hawkinson, not Jefferson, not Addison, not even KJ Osborne, who did get a touchdown. No, no, Josh Oliver.
Hey, and like I said, the sun shines on a dog's butt every now and then. And like I said, these guys just randomly pop up, and it's good to know that they're still alive.
Oh, but wait, there's more. Justin Herbert had a touchdown to the end zone. Not to Keenan Allen. Not. Oh wait, it's Donald Parham Jr. again. The dude has 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks. This is terrible. But he still has like next to no yards. He's the old.
Yeah.
He's the old Jerome Bettis kind of thing. You want to start him next week?
I'm definitely not starting him. He might not get another touchdown the rest of the year.
Oh, but Justin Herbert decided he wanted to mess with us some more. Who was my favorite receiver on that team last year that I wanted as my wide receiver? Thought he might jump up over Mike Williams, and he might now. Joshua Palmer, 30-yard touchdown pass. I think most people have dropped him by now, which would qualify this for a
Surefire ways for the touchdown. I mean, there's a chance he can, get some of the spotlight back. I mean, last year kind of left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. It didn't come through like people wanted it to. Quentin Johnson's evidently not where
That's
they
right.
wanted him to be at. So, Josh Palmer's going to give himself another shot.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I like this one. I bet you $1 million you've never heard of this dude. We're gonna go to Seattle. Oh, Geno Smith, 5-yard pass, beautiful catch actually, and it went straight to deep. No, Tyler Lockett. No, I finally started him somewhere. He did poo. Jake Bobo, toe tap in the back of the end zone, 5-yard pass, preseason darling of the Seattle Seahawks. You heard of him?
I have heard of him. I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard the name. I have
$1
heard.
million coming in the mail. But
I
yeah,
wish.
definitely a
Surefire ways for the touchdown. And if $1 million came in the mail, I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to be on any more podcasts. So
You
just
could
let
buy
me know.
iHeartRadio and put us all on there. A 15-yard rushing touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys. Rico Dowdle. That's a surefire.
Waste of a touchdown. Hey, at least he got one.
He was getting some touches, actually. I was like, man, stop taking touches. I started pollarding some DFS stuff. Oh, well, 1-yard. This one I was deciding if you would be appreciative of or not. But a 1-yard touchdown run. I mean, pretty much if the Chiefs score and it's not Travis Kelce, it's a surefire waste of a touchdown. But this is one we hoped for about 3 years ago. That's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. 1-yard touchdown.
Right.
Derek McKinnon had 2 passing touchdowns like next 2 years. I think all of those would probably qualify, wouldn't they? McKinnon, not as much. People are probably starting him, but CEH, people are starting to pick him up. He's doing nothing. But is that one?
That's definitely a surefire waste of a touchdown because I can't imagine anybody starting CEH at this point. Maybe.
Okay, good. I was worried about that one.
There's no way right now.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm going to take you back in time. We're going to go back to the year 2010. This young guy came into the league. He only played 5 games behind Jeremy Shockey, but then he came out years later and lit the world on fire with an 8-yard touchdown pass from Derek Carr. It's Jimmy Graham. Did you know he's playing football? I saw he signed with the Saints. I thought it was like a retirement thing, but no, Jimmy Graham, 8-yard touchdown pass with all those other receivers, not Taysom, not Juwan, not even the rookie running back or Tony Jones. No. Jimmy stinking Graham.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was back. I didn't know he was back on the field. So yeah, shout out to Jimmy Graham, I guess.
Okay, so there's my surefire waste. We got it through. JJ Wang, you do such a better job on this. Be back here next Sunday, ready to go. Is there?
Yeah, we'll be back next Sunday, ready to go. Just like I said, 3rd week going into week 4. You mentioned a couple guys that you don't know if you want to start that had big games. You know what? Ride the hot hand. Of course, if you need a win, you need points. Obviously, these guys can get you points, so put them in your lineup. As always, trust yourself and trust the process.